Welcome back as we continue with questions to the Deputy President in the National Assembly. DA Parliamentary Leader Lindiwe Mazibuko had issue with a wide range of instances in which she felt were unparalleled abuse of state power.
Mr. Speaker, under the presidency of Jacob Zuma, South Africa has witnessed an unparalleled abuse of state power, not witnessed since the end of apartheid. From the police force's abuse of power at Marikana to the unconstitutional decision by the NPA not to hand over the spy tapes as mandated by an order of the Supreme Court of Appeal, the respect for our Constitution has been eroded. This has been followed more recently by one of the most glaring examples yet of state-sponsored corruption. As South Africans continue to battle for a better life, the state has spent nearly 250 million rand upgrading President Zuma's private home in Nkandla. Honourable Deputy President, do you believe that spending that much money on the private home...
There's a point of order. A point of order, Honourable Member.
Speaker, we have a rule in our rule book that says that members may not make cast aspersions on the institutions, the removal of which depends on this institution. Now, the honourable member has referred
Order, honourable members, order.
Has made disparaging remarks against some of those institutions, such as the NPA, and I'm not sure whether it is perfectly within her rights to do so except by way of a substantive motion.
I will look that up and I'll make a ruling in due course on the matter. And honourable member, your time.
May
One more
I
minute.
complete my question, Honourable Speaker?
Yes, please do.
Honourable Deputy President, do you believe that spending so much money on the private home of a sitting head of state is justifiable when so many South Africans continue to live in poverty? And will you take any steps to prevent the further abuse of public funds by the government? Thank you very much.
Honourable Deputy President.
Yes, indeed, I will take steps to prevent abuse of public funds. But as to the specific matter of the work that was done at the President's residence, that I believe is a matter that the Honourable Minister of Public Works is likely to clarify. He is, and also secondly, I'm aware that the public protector is being approached by your party, Honourable Member, and that no doubt she will bring a report back to the South African public on those matters. So that's a matter that is receiving attention, as it were. The question of the NPA and the DA has been adjudicated upon by the courts, and the court system of our democracy provides for channels of recourse for any party that is aggrieved. That is a matter that we cannot unfortunately deal with in a debate in the House here. Thank you.
The last question on the abuse of state power came from Leonard Ramatlakane of COPE. He referred the Deputy President to an incident in which the police allegedly prevented Julius Malema from addressing a meeting of mine workers in Marikana.
We are very worried about this issue about abuse of state power. Recently, there was a constitutionally appropriately convened meeting that was convened in Marikana, and one of the member of public by the name of Malema was in fact invited to address that meeting. He was stopped by police officials there that he should not address this particular meeting. Now, I want to ask the Deputy President whether you think such a practice in the democratic country is something that must be allowed to continue, where somebody, a police, can just simply confer powers on himself to undermine the Constitution and the freedom of speech and, of course, interaction. And what action will be taken when, in fact, if you were to follow up on this particular matter, what action are you going to take in making sure that that rights of individuals are reinstated in terms of the Constitution?
Well, I'm really not sure as to the right of people to participate in meetings that are arranged privately by private citizens, because you only participate in a meeting if you are part of the program. Either you are billed to speak on some topic, or you have been invited specifically to speak at such a gathering by those responsible for such a gathering. So I'm really not clear about the case in point, whether you are suggesting that this citizen was debarred from addressing a meeting to which he was legitimately invited by those responsible for organizing such a meeting or not. Is that the nature of the question? And who stopped such a person from speaking? The police. Well, I don't know. I mean, the reason for that. The police are law enforcement officers, and so I'm not sure what judgment call they made in order to debar such a person from speaking. I'm really not familiar with that matter. Yeah. Thank you.
The Peace and Security cluster of ministers respond to questions raised by MPs in the National Assembly. That's our story after the break. Stay tuned.